This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Welcome to Friday Eve.
Yes.
Thursday. What a great day.
Friday Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So early.
I know. Well, I'm getting
out of that sentence. It was a lot of words to choose from.
I'm very excited. Welcome to DBL. We're starting today with Britney Spears. She and her husband, Sam Asghari, are officially separated. He is reportedly filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Now, this comes after a rumored fight when Sam confronted Britney over cheating allegations and then moved out. Britney and Sam got married last summer in Los Angeles in a lavish wedding full of A-listers, but the two have been together since 2016. There is some of that wedding. Hit it. Britney's Instagram post yesterday after news broke, she talked about wanting to buy a horse named Roar or Sophie. So what do you think of Britney's latest divorce? What do we make of these cheating rumors? And then do we think Sam will try to challenge the prenup? Just so you guys know, every 2 years that he was with Britney, he would have been entitled to $1 million with a cap of $10 million after 15 years. Apparently, Sam is going for more than the prenup and saying he has embarrassing info about Britney unless he gets paid.
Wow. I guess these prenups aren't prenups anymore, huh?
I don't understand.
Have we done a story about a prenup that stood?
Ironclad.
Yes.
Apparently not. I don't understand how that works.
I think people are making a mistake in getting the negotiable prenup. And they mean to get the ironclad one because every story we do, it's like, I know what it's supposed to say, but here, and then they get it.
Yeah.
It's weird. But money aside, I'm really sad about this. I'm really sad. It just seems like Britney is a person that needs help. I don't know who it should be, but she needs somebody. And I think it kind of shows you how lucky we all are. Your mom with you, Erica, you have a support system around you. Jeff, the same. I'm looking at my parents' Uber on their way to the airport now. When you don't have that, and the court is kind of left to do it, and then the public and a Twitter poll depends on, this is what we get, Erica. A person that could probably be helped, but never really will because there's such an alliance of people behind them that continue to help them make bad decisions, in my opinion.
I think there's this thing called Mad Day. I hear Candy Burris use it all the time.
Can you explain more?
Mad Day is like
I think we're all
you
familiar.
have.
I don't know.
I'm just
Mad
kidding.
Day.
I don't either.
No, like you have a relationship with someone and then you have a falling out and then there's a Mad Day where they go after you, and the way that they go after you really tells you what the nature of your friendship was. Like there's Mad Day. Like I'm very forgiving about some Mad Days. Like if you talk smack about me on Mad Day, it's completely fine. I've likely talked smack about you on Mad Days. If you come for my family or if you come for my job and reputation, like things that have long-standing consequences,
right.
Mad Day is your last day. And the idea that this person who seemingly was the only person on the planet who loved her without any conditions would be coming for her unless he got what he wanted tells you everything you need to know about the genesis and the intention of this relationship. Talk your game, but don't talk your game to the detriment of legacy, to the detriment of everything that they've been trying to protect and protect her. Now, is Britney a perfect person? I think we can all agree that Britney may not be the most perfect person ever. Who really is? But is she someone worthy of protection? I don't think anything that she's doing on social media is hurting anyone but potentially herself.
That's fair.
So if you're coming for her, then everything that everyone has said about you and speculated is true.
Right, because I always stood up for Sam. I thought Sam was a good guy, backed her up, went against the family, went against the father. Now it seems a little more transactional, which might be normal. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, first of all, I want to address Mad Day. Because every day's Mad Day. I just call it a day.
It's Tuesday for you.
It's just every day. Remember Mad Libs, though?
Yes.
Classic.
Yes.
Much better than
You went out
Mad
with
Day.
a potato, who, remember?
Yeah.
Mad Libs.
It was good.
Okay.
Anyways, you picked a potato. Yours would be actually really funny. But, yeah, listen. People just blindly defend Britney Spears, and I don't know why. We buried the father, we buried the family, when maybe now, looking back, maybe they were trying to help. I don't know. That's what I was thinking. As a father, I tried to be in his shoes. I would do I'm sure she was taken advantage of because of that state she's in and just young child actors and someone making that much money. That doesn't work out. But Britney is spiraling, and we all just make excuses for her. We all just say, hey, that's great. She's spinning around on a pole, naked again. Her eyes look like she's not entirely all there. News comes out that you split up with your husband and there's cheating rumors and you post a picture of a horse and what you're going to name it. So leave Britney alone. Let her do her thing. When there's a serious story about Britney and we break it down on this show and we're like, this is unfortunate, but something terrible has happened to Britney Spears, I hope everybody's happy that blindly defended Britney Spears and let her be on her own and not get the help that she needs because she's Britney and she deserves it. Leave Britney alone.
But what is really the most altruistic response to that? Because when you say that, but because either way, people are benefiting from that. Like you're saying, people are blindly saying, leave Britney alone. If someone's saying, leave her alone and leave her to her own devices, and they aren't benefiting from it, then I don't see any problem with that. The issue is every time we lead with the Britney Spears story, someone is benefiting from that.
Here's why
There's no one that's not benefiting from it, regardless of what side of the aisle you are.
I think I think I can speak for all of us. We're on the human side of the aisle, especially you, Eric. I've learned a lot of my empathy from you. And if memory serves, in 2007, when she was going through her first kind of public breakdown, remember how vulnerable she was, where I think like a paparazzi married her for a couple of weeks? I think that's what really turns my stomach about this, and it's because I've grown up with this. The vulnerability of these people, especially when they have money, a platform where people that seek fame and have no interest in being a human being and seeing that there's somebody that's very vulnerable and needs to be taken care of, not taken advantage of, is what bothers me the most. Leaving the music and the fandom aside, I think it's just hard for me to watch because the system makes it easy for you to just be manipulated.
Right. I'm just saying, I think what we can all agree on is she should probably be in a conservatorship now. It shouldn't be her father. It should be someone else. She's already suggested someone else. But yeah, I think.
But what happened with that?
It ended in November 2021, and as Jeff suggested, perhaps that's not the best thing for her. But she certainly needed out of that conservatorship. I just hope she's getting guidance from at least someone, a lawyer, a doctor, or someone.
But these same people are allowing her to do this on Instagram.
I'm just hoping someone steps in. I really do. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Botch star Dr. Terry Dubrow. He's going to tell us all about the new season, plus more about his recent health scare. And get this, parents in Missouri could now end up in jail if their kids skip school. Is this the right tactic to end truancy?
But it's just everyone's.
Go ahead, Jeff does.
You never know when Ira just presents the camera to you.
You don't even say 3, 2, 1, dude.
3, 2, 1.
It's like a gift that he's bringing for the king.
I don't like how
he was holding it kind of.
I know, it's weird.
Well, Tori, what do you think? Because you've been a staunch Britney defender, and it doesn't mean that we're anti-Britney. We're just like, what do you think? Because this is what always concerned us when we would be looking at the clips and we were looked at as Britney haters. We were like, I don't care if she's a pop star. I see somebody that cannot make rational decisions, and they have such a platform. Everybody that is looking for a backdoor / front door to instant fame, and instant fortune. She's a lottery ticket that doesn't know she's a lottery ticket.
There's 2 stages to Britney, though, or there's 3. There's one in the conservatorship, one afterwards, in which we all wanted her to be free, and I think we were focused on that.
I didn't want her to be free.
I know, but then the third part is, but someone else needs to step in because she's clearly not rational, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor. But that doesn't mean that both can't be true. I don't think she should have been in that conservatorship. But she seriously needs, clearly,
she have had an advocate waiting for her when she left
she
the
asked
first
for one. She asked for, her name's like Jody or Janet, and she asked, I don't want my father to be in charge, but I want someone else. You guys are right. She's clearly not compos mentis. She can't be signing contracts. She can't be doing things like that. So put someone in that's on her side who's independent and not part of the family.
But what's taking so long?
Because anyone in that situation is going to fail. They're going to beat whoever is in that situation up. I don't know if the father was necessarily wrong at this point.
Right.
Everyone just wanted to bury him and say, hey, she doesn't deserve.
Welcome back to DBL. Would love your take on this. Parents in Missouri can now be jailed if their parents don't go to school. And it's already happened. So far, 2 moms have been sentenced. One of them spent 15 days in jail after her son was absent for 13 days, which she said was due to COVID, car troubles, and other issues. So this all comes down to this state law, which requires, quote, regular attendance. Not much more clear than that. DBL Nation, I know, we want to hear from you. Should parents be jailed if their kids miss too much school? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Erica, you kind of giggled at the vagueness of regular attendance. Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, anytime you have something that's that ambiguous, it doesn't have like days or months or hours, then it says to me that it will be applied at will according to what's in the best interest of those who are applying it. Al, as a former teacher, I know you have some thoughts on what's happening in the inner workings of this.
Yes, I mean, it sounds good on its face. Like, you know, we want to force parents to send their kids to school. There's a reason why some of these laws exist. There are parents that have certain beliefs in which a lot of people don't want their kids to go to public school, but that's not their choice to decide if their kid can be educated or not. There's a reason we kind of force parents' hand to send them to school. But at the same time, the schools aren't totally, you know, left in the dark with this either. The schools are gaining something, and that's that they get most of their funding per attendance and per number of students in their school. So they have a vested interest in making sure that those kids are there every single day. So the school, you know, is going to be very adamant about them going. But Erica, to your point, are we all better off because moms are in jail? Is that going to get those kids to school better? Is that going to ensure?
Yes, some people are better off that because moms are in jail. Absolutely. That's the reason
sadly,
why,
you're right.
That's
Sadly,
the reason why our system is set up that way. You do realize that moms are in jail right now as we speak over parking violations, things that are literally maybe tens, if not hundreds of dollars in order to rectify, and they cannot do it because they do not have the money, and then they get a bench warrant, and then they have a warrant for their arrest. And now they're spending 30 days in jail because they're poor and under-resourced. So yes, someone is benefiting from it. Someone's definitely benefiting from it.
What do you think, Jeff?
I just think we're just going crazy. There's like these no bail laws. We're letting people out of jail. We're not arresting people, but we're putting moms in jail for not sending their kids to school. What about when your kid shoots up a school?
Interesting,
But
Jeff.
you're not going to jail for that? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? My kids are sick once every week, okay? Once every month. I'm not even joking. I talked about it on my podcast. My wife just went to the doctor right now. I don't know what's happening in America or what. I'm not blaming vaccines or anything like that. I'm just saying something is different. Maybe COVID stunted their immune system growth. Something's going on that the government is not letting us in on. Because when I was a kid, I'd get perfect attendance and get free tickets to the White Sox game. All the time. And I'd go to school, and that was like my goal, to be like perfect attendance. My kids miss once every 2 weeks. Like clockwork.
Wow.
Like clockwork. And the teachers are like, don't send your kid to school if they got a runny nose.
Right.
Because they don't want that over anymore. So you're going to put me possibly in jail because the government is not letting us in on something, or because the teachers are telling me don't bring your kid to school when they're sick. Something's going on in this country, because I've never been that sick. My friends were never that sick, but now my household is sick every 2 weeks. My wife just went to the doctor this morning because my kids were just sick.
Jeff,
First week of school, he missed 2 days.
We're living an experiment. We don't know what happens when human beings are in their home for 2 years.
And also,
you're supposed to be.
But now we're going to jail people for that?
Right.
But yet set laws to not put us together?
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
It's a
what is the government?
lose-lose.
This is why there's no faith in the government. I don't mean to be that conspiracy guy or whatever, but I have no faith in the government. That's just it.
I hear that. Well, let's look at the polls. Should parents be jailed? 63% of you say no. 37%, 36% of you say yes. All right. We'll talk more. We'll be right back.
Germs can lurk almost anywhere, not just on our bodies, but on non-living objects as well. That leads us to tonight's claim. Is it true that the backpack is one of the germiest things that a child brings to and from school? Our sources for this verify are Dr. Mandy Tibble-Svatek, a pediatric hospitalist with University Health and associate professor with UT Health San Antonio, and Chris Pritchett, an associate professor with the Department of Microbiology at East Tennessee State University. Dr. Svatek said backpacks are a perfect place for germs to be transferred from one child to another.
The hands touch the backpack, and if several individuals are touching the backpack, or for instance, lunch boxes go into the backpack, you are exchanging items with friends or getting your hands on different things, putting them in your mouth. All of those items can take bacteria and then transfer them to the backpack.
Pritchett echoed what Dr. Svatek had to say with, there's lots of nooks and crannies in a backpack, and because there's lots of nooks and crannies, they pick up some of the bacteria on the floor. Whether it's on the bathroom or schoolroom floor, then there's always the potential that they're bringing some of that home. So yes, it is true. The backpack is one of the germiest things that a child brings to and from school. Dr. Tibble-Svatek also recommended wiping the backpack down daily and making sure your child carries sanitizer as well.
Welcome back to DBL. Last week, we told you about the medical emergency involving botched reality star Terry Dubrow. He had a mini stroke while at dinner with his family and only went to the hospital after his wife hounded him, chased his Uber, and recruited his friends to call him. Earlier, we spoke with him about it. Take a look.
We're so happy to see you here and that you're well.
I was going to say, we're happy to see your face right now. I want to ask you, Doc, why do you think, and this is speaking from someone who had to push their mother, you were so defiant to go to the hospital? Is it because doctors make the worst patients? Is that true?
I don't think so. I think it's a general desire to deny something really bad happening. When you look at studies, and I have done this since this happened, of people who have strokes, literally 89% of people who are displaying signs of a stroke either refuse to go to our hospital or their caretakers, rather than calling 911, are calling relatives, and there's a delay. And as you probably know, you have about 4 hours to get to the hospital to dissolve that clot. And if you don't, you're going to have a major stroke.
Wow.
Terry, I get like you being reluctant because I don't know if it's a male thing or something like, I'm fine, don't worry about it. But what did your friends say to you that actually changed your mind?
So I had 3 doctor friends of mine, very highly trained surgeons, call me. 2 of them said, listen, Terry, you know it could be a TIA, get it checked out. It wasn't until the 3rd one called me and said, don't do it for you. We know you're healthy. Do it for your wife, Heather, and your son, who are traumatized watching you go through this. They're not going to sleep. They're going to worry about you. And as soon as they appealed to me about making my family feel better, I went, okay, and I redirected the Uber. And thank goodness I did.
Oh, my
Chills. Thank goodness. So happy to see you, Dr. Dubrow. Love your wife, Heather. I don't know if you've heard, but she's actually invited me to your new home in LA. Let me tell you, on behalf of my girl Heather and everyone who really felt very passionately about this story, myself included, because here's the thing. I have someone, my husband, in my life who I know for a fact I would have had to chase down in an Uber too. How this incident has created so many life and death conversations in so many households. And I just want to know how you're repaying your wife for gaslighting her. Because let's be clear, you were, and she saved your life. So I want to know how this repayment is happening.
Well, I'm happy to say that I had just bought her a piece of jewelry because had I not paid for it already, the size of the piece of jewelry would have had to go through the roof. So I'm good for a while.
Let's get to the good stuff. Season 8 of Botched is airing. We have to ask you, do you have a favorite transformation from this season?
Let's go to work. I do. You know, you guys just showed it very quickly. This is a season,
there's a reason for that.
vast season. We took 7 seasons of experience and applied it to cases that we never would even have tried before. But there's one, a woman from another country who had a tumor growing from her eye all the way down to her jaw. She was taken at the local university by the team of plastic surgeons in the operating room. They tried to fix it. It bled so much they closed her. We call it a peek and shriek, and they said, forget it. So she had 3 kids. She's young. She has a store. She tries to make a living, but she's got this giant growing tumor. We took her on. We felt there was no other way that she was going to live her life with this. And wait till you see this. And this pretty much characterizes the entire season. Cases that we never would have tried before that we now used our experience to fix. This is a dramatic season. It's a very emotional season. And we had problems of our own that we had to fix.
Wow. All right, I can't wait.
Life-altering. Erica's like, clearly, problems you had to fix.
I'm coming back around, Dr. Dubrow.
We're glad you're here, man.
We appreciate you. We're so glad to see you. DBL Nation, new episodes of Botched are airing now on E! You can also stream the season on Peacock. Thank you again, Terry. We'll be right back.
So
Bye,
glad
Terry.
you're okay.
Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump's 4th indictment included violations of Georgia's RICO Act.
RICO stands for Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations.
Some people online have claimed it's supposed to be used to take down mob bosses. So let's verify. Was RICO created to prosecute the mob? Our sources are the Federal RICO Act, the Mob Museum, the Georgia State RICO Act, and 3 Georgia law firms. The answer is yes, RICO was created to prosecute the mob. Congress passed the law in 1970. Mob bosses in particular were hard to take down because they were rarely directly connected to individual criminal acts. RICO gave prosecutors a way to overcome that by going after the entire organization rather than one member at a time. In New York in the 1980s, then U.S. Attorney Rudy Giuliani famously used the law to lock up many of the biggest names in organized crime. Of course, more recently, Giuliani became part of Trump's inner circle and is actually now named in the indictment as a co-conspirator. So is the same law he used in the 80s now being used against him? Not quite. Trump and his associates are not being prosecuted under the federal RICO Act. Fani Willis, the district attorney in Georgia, has charged them with violating that state's own RICO Act. That one was passed in 1980 and has some key differences. For one, it's not often used to prosecute mobsters. Willis brought up rapper Young Thug on RICO charges last year, accusing his record label of being an organized street gang. That case is still awaiting trial. And before that, she charged several public school teachers under RICO following a standardized test cheating scandal. The state RICO law can be used in this way because it's much broader than the federal version. Federal RICO is notoriously difficult to prosecute because it requires an extremely specific set of circumstances. Georgia's law is actually well known for being less specific. The DA has said that even when it's not used for mobsters, Georgia RICO is a useful tool for painting a fuller picture for juries and taking down larger conspiracies. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Self-driving cars could be safer, but slower. Let's connect the dots. A study from NC State says people want self-driving cars for 2 reasons: improving passenger safety and reducing the amount of time we travel. But turns out we might not get the best of both worlds. While autonomous driving can be safer, new research suggests it might be a lot slower than you're used to. It's all about connection. In order for self-driving cars to work, vehicles have to communicate with each other and traffic control systems. That takes time. But it could get better. Researchers at NC State say as more cars get connected, the quicker they'll be able to move and anticipate movements of other cars. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. Hi there, we're having some technical difficulties. Those products were great, but I want to get to some comments that come out from attendance for school that we were talking about. Jennifer wrote us and said this: I had perfect attendance almost every year in school. We went to school with colds and sore throats. Did y'all do that?
Yes, and I'm glad that Jeff brought up the White Sox tickets, because I think we got like Pizza Hut or something.
I love Pizza Hut.
If the school was making money on this, we should have gotten more than a personal pan.
No, the pizza was for, remember, book club or something?
Oh, yeah.
Book it. And, and I just wrote like 10 books. I didn't read them. I just wanted that pizza.
You lied.
Yeah.
You're terrible.
About the books?
I chalk it up to like salesman skills for future
That's called lying, dude.
life obligations.
That's called lying. Did everyone here love the Scholastic Book Fair? That was like the best day of my life, right?
Anything to get you out of school
that was the best
was a big
day.
deal.
Oh, books. Sorry. Gabriel says, so how would they get to school if their parents are in jail?
Right. Well,
That's a great question.
Right, and I'm assuming a lot of these households are not two-parent households, because I think one parent would step up. We're assuming at this point we're down to one parent, and we're going to take that one parent away. I just think this country, we're so quick to see, lock them up, throw away the key. I don't think people understand the devastating impact that has on a family. I've seen it firsthand.
Yep.
It's not like, if Jeff went to jail, this whole thing would collapse. Everybody, that's all we would think about.
I mean,
imagine
we'd be fine, but
you would be fine.
I'd be fine.
But imagine if that was your dad. And so Christmas, you just know that your dad's not there. Or even for a couple weeks, the stigma that carries around the neighborhood. Oh, Jeff, his mom's in jail. It's these things that we put, and again, it goes back to that conversation we had yesterday about the comments made by that viral video about the working man, is we end up going after poor people because rich people can always solve it. Rich kid gets a DUI. I've never seen one of those. But when you're rich, it gets knocked down to, reckless driving. When you're poor, it's your third one. Now your license is suspended. Now your insurance goes up, and you're in this cycle forever.
Yeah,
and I hope we understand how this affects poor people most. And I just don't understand why we keep passing laws to attack them.
Beautifully said. So sorry about those difficulties. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.